What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So really quickly, I spent almost all day editing. I came home around 12 and I started editing right away. And then I looked outside. It's supposed to be raining. What the f? So we're gonna do a video that was kind of like a video I did almost 1 year ago, which was a free coaster versus a cassette video. And I keep receiving comments of people asking,
hey, what's better? Will free coaster help me fake it? Will free coaster make me a better rider?
And in today's video, I am going to cover that for you guys. And the whole shebang shabuck. So we're just gonna jump right into it. Right now I have my bike, which has a Shadow Cassette SDS hub. And then I have my buddy's bike, Dane's bike, which also has a free coaster. I'm not sure what free coaster though, but it's free and it coasts. So before we actually get started with this video, I want you guys to go down below and hit that subscribe button because I promise you, you won't regret it. And with that, we're going to jump right into this. So before we get started with this video, you need to understand what the difference between a cassette and a free coaster is. And if you guys picked on this video, I'm pretty sure you guys have a solid understanding of it. So most of the time, beginners will just think the cassette makes the ticking noise and the free coaster makes no noise, and that's pretty much it. But that's wrong. A free coaster allows you to move backwards on your bike without having to pedal backwards with it. Now, otherwise, with a cassette, you have to pedal backwards with it. And now most of the time, this will be very challenging, especially to beginners, if you have to pedal backwards with the bike versus a free coaster where you just kind of sit there. I'm so sorry if there's a lot of wind noise, but a cassette has a pause and spring system versus a coaster where it has a clutch system where it disengages and engages the clutch. And that clutch grabs onto your hub, making it go forwards, and when it disengages, it goes backwards. Well, it doesn't really go backwards, but it just kind of like free coasts. Hence the name free coaster. Now, most of the time, a free coaster hub will be way more expensive than a cassette hub because it has lots of nicks and crannies and it goes far beyond a cassette engineering. Like, a cassette hub is made by like maybe 5 or 6 parts versus a free coaster hub, which is made out of like 10 or 15, which also leads to the next thing, making that free coasters are way easier and prone to break than cassettes. Cassettes only have, you know, like 5 or 6 things that make a cassette hub work versus a free coaster where it has like 10 or 15 things working together to make it all one giant hub. Now, the free coaster hub, you also have to have proper maintenance with it as well. You have to re-grease it often and here and there whenever it starts to feel kind of sluggish and catchy and it skips a lot. Now, with the cassette hub, you don't really have to do that whatsoever. You don't really have to re-grease it or grease it unless you really want to, and it's like you're like that. But you don't have to really work with a cassette hub other than just buying it and then putting it on your bike. So now that I've covered what a free coaster is versus a cassette and what they do and how they're different, now the real question is, can you fakie longer and better with a free coaster? So I'm gonna hop on both bikes. I'm gonna do a fakie for as long as I can with both bikes, and we're gonna see how this goes. So really quickly, to do this test, I'm gonna take both bikes and I'm gonna do like a little nose press to fakie on this. I'm gonna see how far I can go down this hill with control and to get out perfectly. Now I'm gonna give it 2 tries on both bikes to give a solid understanding of how to do it and how far I can actually get. So the first bike up is the free coaster. Now I have the fisheye on just in case if I go out of frame, it's almost impossible to go out of frame with a fisheye. So let's get it. Wow. So the first run with a coaster is done. Now I made it to about right here, just kind of past my car, and I know I did a little bit of correction hops. That's because I didn't want to run into my car, but we've made it about like 3 feet after the car, so we can get that in a mental picture in our head. Now we're gonna hop on the cassette bike, my bike, and we're gonna see how far we can get. Now on the cassette bike, the first round, I went all the way out of frame and I also made it pretty much to the grass all the way on the other side of the road. Now before you guys leave your opinionated comments, we're gonna try this one more time. We're gonna go on the coaster and then we're gonna go on the cassette, round 2. Now before you guys leave any comments saying,
oh my god, you're not used to the bike, that's why you're not going far.
This bike is pretty much the same exact dimensions as my older bikes were, so I'm pretty much used to the most of it. The only thing I'm not used to so much is the free coaster, but I'm pretty used to going backwards on it. I mean, let's give this another try. Ooh. We've made it about the same exact distance, so now we're gonna hop back on the cassette and see how much further or how far we go now. Ah. Now the second round on the cassette did not go as good as the first round on it, and as far as the free coaster round. And there's a really good reason for that, a really good reason. And the reason for this is because speed. On a free coaster, when you're at slow speeds, the fakie is so much easier versus a cassette. When you're going really slow, it's really hard to keep balance because you have to pedal backwards and it's just throwing off your whole entire balance. And then when you go faster on a coaster, it's harder to keep control because you're going so fast and there's no way for you to slow down. On a cassette, when you go faster, you can control your speed, so you can put a little bit of pedal pressure on while you're pedaling backwards, so you can keep that really good pace. Which is why on my cassette I was able to make it all the way past the road into my neighbor's yard, because I had a controlled speed. I was able to manage my speed so I can keep that perfect balance point. It's easier to fakie on a free coaster when you're going at slow speeds. Cassette, it's much harder, but at fast speed, a cassette is much easier and a coaster is much harder. Now this isn't the only thing that a free coaster and coaster is different for. There's 1,000 things that make them different. And one of the things that a lot of beginners struggle with is how to get out of a fakie, which will confuse some beginners because they'll think that a free coaster will help them with fakies, meaning that'll help them get out of the fakies, which is completely a lie. So it's easier to fakie on a coaster, but it's so much harder to get out because you have no pedal pressure and you pretty much have to just hop your way out of it unless you have a crazy amount of bike control where you can just learn sliders immediately. Now a cassette is so much easier because you have the pedal pressure. Pedal pressure is a gift from God, especially in a fakie, because you could use pedal pressure to do full cabs, 5 cabs. You could do pedal pressures just to get out of a fakie. My first fakie out was the most atrocious thing ever, but it was with a cassette, which was so much easier at the time. Now of course at this point it is going to get kind of opinionated, so if you guys have any other opinions, go down below in the comment section and let me know. But it was so much easier to get out of a fakie in a cassette for me than it was with a coaster. When I first got the coaster, I could never learn how to fakie out. So after the beginner stage of riding and you learn all your tricks, what should you ride? Should you ride a cassette or free coaster? And now that is all personal opinion. I feel like everybody should try at least one of them to figure out what they're more comfortable on. Now of course, once you get into more intermediate and professional tricks, in some cases a cassette is better, in some cases a free coaster is better. Like in this case, when I was learning trucks, a cassette helped me 1000% because I was able to use a lot of pedal pressure to be able to spin that 360 around. Now on a free coaster, let's say if you're doing like a tail whip to fakie or like a truck to fakie, it'll make the trick so much easier because you can land backwards without having to worry about pedaling backwards as well. So about a year ago I switched over from a free coaster to a cassette, and that is because at the time I was just learning trucks and tail whips and I was just getting into a lot of better tricks, if you would say. And with a free when it comes to tail whips with a free coaster, you don't have much to really catch. It didn't feel like it at the time for me. So of course, when you're trying to do a trick like tail whip where you have to catch the pedals and there's slack in it, it kind of makes it really difficult to feel and really know if you caught the pedals or not. And with trucks, it was just atrocious for me to try trucks. Let me just put it there. Like it was not the right thing to do. And then when I hopped on a cassette, I was able to do trucks way better. And when I did tail whips, I could actually feel the pedals and I could actually catch the pedals way better because I could feel the engagement and I could feel all that stuff. So I am not here to tell you guys what to ride and what not to ride. I'm just here to give you guys tons of information about a coaster and a cassette, and with this video I hope that helps you guys in your decision into choosing a free coaster or cassette. So on that note, I want you guys to go down in the comment section below and I want you guys to leave a comment of what you ride, a free coaster and cassette, and what you're going to ride if this video changed your opinion. Alrighty guys, if you made it this far in the video, I want you guys to go down below, leave your comment of your opinion, and then also drop a fat like on this video while you are scrolling down. And really quickly before I forget, today's notification shout out goes to Joe Kim BMX. Thank you for being a part of the notification squad. And if you guys want a chance to be shouted out in the next video, all you guys have to do is go down below, press that like button, press that subscribe, and also hit that little notification bell and comment notification squad. And with all that, share with your friends, share with your homies, share your dog, share your cat, share with your friends, hi mom, share with your Uncle Bethany. Uncle Bethany knows who are out here making videos every day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Alright, here's the panty dropper. Okay, see, he dropped to the floor. Hey, he's being a fucking pussy. 180 whip. Too bad he must. He runs his dick right there. Oh, how'd that feel?